Righto, with the CFMOTO 450MT absolutely storming to the top of the New Zealand sales charts, I thought it was a good time to check in and sort of go over three of my favourite things about this bike, and they're 3 points which I think make it definitely worth a look if you are after a sub 500cc adventure motorcycle. So, to kick things off, the seat height and subframe design. So, I covered this in my main review. We'll put a link up here somewhere to the full final review of the bike, where I go into detail and you get riding impressions. But in the top three things that make this bike so good, you can't go past the seat height and subframe design. They make it a incredibly accessible motorcycle for its size. So this is around a 200 kilo fully fueled adventure motorcycle. Weights vary on what it actually does weigh. It's a decent sized bike and you want that to be accessible. It is the only adventure bike I've ever ridden where I can actually get both of my feet fully flat on the ground. So for instance, I have an inseam of about 30 inches. I'm not particularly long in the leg, I'm mostly a torso guy, so to be able to get both my feet down is quite an achievement, and it's one that I really enjoyed with this. So the seat height itself is 820 millimeters. So that is incredibly low for an adventure class machine. You can even drop this down even further with a accessory low seat, dropping it down to about 800 mil. And straight out of the box, it is 6 whole centimeters, 60 mil shorter than a Tenere 700, which, let's face it, that is the bike that everyone sort of compares the CFMOTO 450MT to. The 450MT, a lot of people are calling it the baby Tenere, or that CFMOTO has essentially copied Yamaha's design and brought it into the sub 500cc class. Whatever you think, this bike is accessible, and that is why the seat and subframe design are my first of my three favourite things about this bike. Alright, second thing about the CFMOTO's design that makes it really good is the mirrors. So not only can you actually see out the things, they're folding mirrors. So that means if you're actually going to use this bike for its intended purpose of adventure riding, you're going to drop it. It's an inevitability. It's going to fall down at some stage, whether it's because it's fallen off its side stand or because you have taken a digger. So having folding mirrors, that makes them a bit more resilient to drops. They're not going to smash off or get damaged in a fall because they'll just fold in. But the other cool thing is, if you're actually in some really tough adventure terrain, you can fold those in and actually get your body position a bit more forward over the front end of the bike. So for instance, if you're doing a really tough hill climb, you want your weight forward, you want your elbows out, and sometimes your mirrors get in the way of that. So having folding mirrors, folding them out of the way, it makes things so much easier. It makes the bike more versatile and easier to use. And I think that is one of the things that I keep coming back to when I think about this 450MT. It's that CFMOTO really decided that when they were designing this bike, they were going to go for accessibility, user-friendliness, and just a damn all-round good adventure motorcycle. Righto, no surprises here. My third favourite thing about this bike is its adjustable windscreen. So not only is it adjustable and easily done with just one hand, you just crank it up or down depending on how you want it, the bubble of clean air that this little screen creates is just phenomenal. So to put things in perspective, I rode this bike up and around Mount Pirongia, I rode it on the highways, I rode it on the motorway, and as soon as I put that windscreen up into the high position, I had no buffeting on my helmet. Now normally when I ride anything, there's always a bit of buffeting. It'll hit you sort of somewhere up here, if not here, and it makes life a bit miserable. And I didn't get that at all with the CFMOTO. So you can crank it down if you're wanting to be riding more aggressively, or you just want a bit more fresh air. For instance, if you're riding in a hot environment, having a bit of airflow hitting you in the face isn't a bad thing. But if you want to be comfortable long distance touring, cranking that factory windscreen up into the high position was perfect for me. I'd happily be able to tour the country on this bike. Now for instance, for reference, I'm 176 centimeters tall, so yeah, taller riders, you're mileage may vary, but for someone of my height, 176 centimeters, 5'8", 5'9", I found this to be a almost perfect windscreen. So, all in all, CFMOTO has produced a fantastic little motorcycle here. Yes, it is made in China. Yes, it's a Chinese company. If you don't like that, you're not going to buy it anyway. But if you are willing to look past its point of manufacture, it is without a doubt one of the best bang for buck motorcycles in the adventure class. No hands barred. If you want to know more about the CFMOTO 450MT, do check out my full review. I have a whole series of videos on this motorcycle. Till next time, keep the rubber side down, and I'll see you in the next video.